Hey everybody, this is Kaylin Huntress, and today I want to talk to you about The Social Dilemma. I watched The Social Dilemma over the weekend, and I've got some thoughts on it since I'm a digital marketer and I live in this world. I know that a lot of people have watched The Social Dilemma and then deleted Facebook and got off of everything, but I didn't do that because I would much rather participate in this global experiment that we're having of having everyone interacting with social media the way they do rather than run and hide from it. I feel like I can manage it better and guide my children better if I participate in it. I've got some problems with it, like most people do. What I like about this movie so much is that it kicks up controversy and healthy debate. The kind of healthy debate where people can say, well, I like this piece, but this piece I have problems with, and then we unearth how we really feel about things. And I think that's powerful. But the social dilemma, a dilemma is two options. And they don't really give us two options, stay on or get off. And that's good because I don't think that this movie should be a call to action for getting off of social media. I think instead it should be a wake-up call for the potential of these huge social media companies to shape our culture. They're now in anthropology. This is the field that technology is going into, is the molding of the human character. And they're not being regulated like that. They're being trusted to regulate themselves, but with the profit imperative as their only guiding force. Is this going to keep people on the platform? And are we going to be able to turn that attention into revenue? That's the only deciding factor right now that social media companies are beholden to. And so now we're beginning to have this conversation about what role should social media play in our lives. And I like having this conversation. I like participating in this conversation, which is why I'm online. I'm a very online person. I'm on all the platforms. I've got accounts on all the things. I'm always trying out new technology, which is why, I've got this whole thing going on because I've got a green screen and I can put my logos up and I can do all this stuff. But I realized recently, the reason why I do this is because of my conditioning as a child watching television shows. And my response to how to show up online is to create a show. And kids for the most recent generation, they don't have that. They don't do like people of my generation do, where we want to get a show and we want to get people together and talking and pretend like it's an internet version of a TV show. Whereas the younger generation are moldable. They're really able to interact with the platforms in a much more intuitive way. And so I like seeing them grow into social media. And how my kids are going to grow into that, I'm really interested in how that's going to happen. We homeschool, and we've homeschooled the entire time, and I've got kids from 8 to 14. And they've got, they have plenty of time on screens because they have plenty of time to work on the things that they find interesting. And we're a real big believer in what Fred Rogers used to say, that play is the real work of childhood. And allowing them to play through their games, I think it's healthy. I do have, the typical parent concerns of, are they spending too much time on a screen? And so I've started looking at myself. Am I spending too much time on a screen? I work on a screen all day. I'm in front of my laptop, for most of my working hours. And so when I get off at the end of the day, I'd like to say I turn off screens, but I don't. I'd like to say that I kept to this initiative for having screen-free Sunday. So I had a day off every week, and I tried it for a little while, and it didn't work because I'm addicted to screens. And I personally don't think addictions are a bad thing. I've got a series of addictions. I'm addicted to oxygen. Can't live without it. I'm addicted to food and to water. And if I don't fulfill these addictions, then my entire life starts to deteriorate. And that's how I look at screen time. Let's take a look at my screen time because I'm a geek. I can show you my phone and show you what I got going on here. I'm going to go into settings on my iPhone and I'm going to go to screen time. My daily average is 2 hours and 7 minutes, and that's just on my phone. Oh, look, I bumped up because of what I'm doing right now, I guess. And so this would be great if I could show you last week, see all activity, and I could see by the week and by the day how much time I'm spending. And I've got some specific apps I like to use. I'm big on Twitter because that's where the breaking news is, and there was a lot of news this week. I've got a game I play, Forge of Empires. It's this turn-based strategy game where you create a little empire, and it's fun. One of my resolutions for this year was to bring more play into my life and to allow myself time to play a game. And I really enjoy games as a way to alternate my state from stress to relaxation. And so I'm finding this hour to be worthwhile. And then I've got some other things that I spend some time on. Oh, great, and I can go to previous weeks. Last week's average was 4 hours and 32 minutes. The one before that was, it's not last week. Let me see this. The one before that was 4:35. So that's how I've been averaging over the week. And I guess if I do by the day, it's an hour and 13 minutes a day for that day. 3 hours the day before, 6 hours before that. So I look at this and I interrogate my own habits. I say, wow, I really spent 2 hours and 49 minutes on Twitter that day. Well, that was the day that Donald Trump tweeted that he's got COVID. So there was a lot of news and there was a lot of conversations happening. And it was Saturday. It was my day off. And so if I look back at the day before, on Friday, gosh, did I really spend just as much time on Twitter? It's been a big news week. And so I don't think that this is bad by itself, but it is a flag. Is it a red flag? Is it a yellow flag? Whether or not it's good or bad is up to my judgment. But something that I have to do in order to make that judgment is I need to look at these numbers. I need to ask myself, how much time am I spending on this and on that? And is it really worth my time? Is it how I really want to be spending my time? And I'm very comfortable doing this because I log my time in my calendar all the time. And I measure my productivity. So I'm into that. And I think that that's a habit that helps me navigate the things that the social dilemma talks about. I don't try and stay away from social media. I acknowledge that there are gamification techniques that are demanding my attention. I acknowledge when I feel like I have to get my phone first thing in the morning. I mean, this phone is the first thing that I touch in the morning. My alarm goes off on this phone, and I reach for this phone to get out of sleep, and I touch this phone to come into the waking world. What am I gonna do next when my mind is hazy and I'm not really fully cognizant yet? I'm gonna do something on this phone. I can't remember who it was that said it, but somebody said, do you check your phone before you go to the bathroom in the morning or while you go to the bathroom in the morning? Those are the only two options. And I bet that you can answer in one of those two ways, either before you use the restroom or while you use the restroom. And one of those two times is the first time you use your phone or your mobile device during the day. I mean, I can sure answer one of those. I've started looking at that pre-morning time when I'm first waking up as hazardous. I've made a personal rule that I don't check Twitter during that time. And I keep to it 5 or 6 days a week. But I know that if I look at Twitter during that brief period before I roll out of bed, then I'm at risk for lowering my emotional state through the rest of the day. I acknowledge that Twitter has some really sophisticated gamification techniques that hack my psychology and try and get me to use the app before I roll out of bed. I acknowledge that. And I can defend myself against it most of the time, but not all the time. Is the answer to fully pull back and never let Twitter into my life and just delete it from my phone? That's an option. But it's not the option I'm choosing. Because in order for me to navigate this dilemma, this issue that we're facing, in order for me to guide my kids through it, I need to go through these phases of addiction myself. I need to manage my own internet addiction because that's going to give me the tools for understanding how I can best protect the rest of my life from it and how I can use the very real advantages that are in the rest of it. I mean, look at this. I've got this app on my phone, this pranayama app I have right here at the bottom. When I go into this, I can say, you know what, I want to meditate right now, and I'm going to do a breathing pattern that lasts this long for this many minutes, and then the sound that comes out, it's like I'm sitting, oh, I can't get the sound in, but it's like I'm sitting in an ashram with dozens of monks chanting around me. And in a moment, I can throw this together. And it tells me when to inhale, when to hold, and when to exhale. And this is an app on my phone. I just casually booted it up and I can instantly get into a deep meditative state. Hundreds of years ago, this would never have been possible. This would never have been conceivable 100 years ago, to have a traveling meditation ashram on demand whenever you like. So we have these very real benefits. I mean, calculator, come on. You know, like there's all these things that we can do because of the advances of technology. And I don't want to give those up just because there's some problems with how the current companies are prioritizing themselves. I would much rather navigate this and keep an open relationship with it so that I can handle it the way that I want to handle it. So those are my thoughts on The Social Dilemma. If you've watched the Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, put some thoughts into the comments below and let me know what you thought about it and how your internet habits have changed after watching it. I'm Kalen Huntress, the creative director of Stellar Platforms. I'm going to plug. I don't know how I'm doing this streaming thing, so I'm going to try and do a plug at the end. I help entrepreneurs make more money in less time through setting up smart marketing systems with Stellar Platforms, and that's my digital marketing agency. I don't know. That feels lame. I don't want to do a plug. I think the next time I do a live stream, I might not do this background because, like I said, I'm trying it out. You know, like I might do something a little more chill. I might do something, you know, a little more interesting. So I've got these capabilities, and I'm just playing with them right now. I'm just trying them out. So maybe I'll do some live streaming in the future. If you like this video, or comment below, then it's going to let me know that I should do more of these. So if you liked it, let me know. Have fun out there.